Hello everybody, this is Naz with Naz Gaming. I wanted to do a little video to show some of the new features in Warlords of Draenor, the beta. So I'm gonna go through each one of those screens, check and see if there's any new stuff that's been added or taken out. Starting off, I can already tell that the message board has been changed dramatically. It's still looks the same, it's just got the black, and so it makes it more prominent for people to see. Something else I noticed when I logged in was now when you hover your mouse over people, they turn blue for the players. I think it turns green for NPCs, the friendlies, and then it turns red for hostile. That's just some of the stuff I've noticed right off the bat. I also noticed this guy, they've got some examples of some enchants that are, it says permanently enchant a cloak to increase multi-strike by 100, haste by 100, versatility by 40, 100, mastery 100, critical strike by 100, and that's all for the cloak. And then the neck is multi-strike by 40, mastery by 40, haste by 40, critical strike, and then you got the rings, which is versatility by 30, multi-strike by 30. So it looks like all the rings are 30. Weapons are 200, haste by 260, diminishes by 10% every 2 seconds. 128 for 6 seconds. Effects can stack 2 times. Black Rock. The bonus armor by 128 for 12 seconds. It only occurs when you're 50% health or lower. 128 for 15 seconds for Spirit. And this one is critical strike by 128 for 6 seconds. And the critical heals and attacks may extend the duration. So those are some pretty cool enchants. Let's go over here, and I want to check the different panels here. So as far as the character goes, everything looks the same, not much different, except they've taken out, like it says in the PTR stuff, you know, the expertise and things like that, and they've, you know, put those in here. But as far as the look of it, it's still exactly the same. The titles is still the same, and you still can change, you know, have sets of gear. Reputation still the same. Currency, bloody coins, looks like they're all still the same as far as that. So the character pane is still somewhat the same. Spell book still the same. Professions still the same. Of course, they still have the core ability pane. So talent calculator still looks the same. I did notice that the glyphs now, they have replaced the glyphs with the newer ones, and a lot of them have exclusive width added to it. So if you have one, you can't have the other. So I'm guessing that I'm not for sure, because this one says, see, I've got Flying serpent kick. I don't know. I'll have to do some research. Achievements still looks the same. Guild achievements still look the same. Statistics and all that looks the same. Huh. The quest log, when you open the quest log, it looks different. It has a little bit different look now. It's got the map there, and then it has the quest that you click on, and you can abandon or track it. And you click on the quest area, so like Duratar. So yeah, you can click on the area, and it tells you where the quests are in that particular area, which is pretty cool. Then you can hit view all quests, and it shows them all. Click on the quest, and it goes to the area and shows you the map. It shows the reward down here, which is a little bit different. So that's pretty cool. Guild Finder still looks the same. Group Finder still pretty much the same, the way it does everything. And they've added pre-made groups, so you can choose questing, start a group, custom. You just go through and check which one you want to do. Player versus player has the pre-made as well. Everything else looks the same. Challenges pretty much looks the same. Alrighty, so this here looks a little bit different. It's added the little text up here. If I remember correctly, it doesn't have that. This is moved up and it's in the center. But they looks like they've added it to the top and tells a little story about them. Let's see here. Summon random. They've got a button now. It says summon random. So you can select. It says you have no valid. So you have to make them your favorite. So set as favorite, and then you can hit the summon random. Put it down in your action bar, and you can just summon, and it will randomly summon whichever ones you've got as your favorite. The pet journal still looks pretty much the same. You just add your pets in. The toy box is added in new. You can have it says 160 different items is what they've got here, and it just has everything put in here for you, so it doesn't take up as much bag space. That's pretty cool there too. Dungeon journal, same way it's always looked. They just added the Warlords of Draenor to it and the dungeons. Let's see if it's going to show us what it looks like. Yep. I'll probably make another video about the dungeon journal. Shop still looks the same. Of course, they've got it all with these XTSs on here instead of having the actual cost because it's a beta. See here. The thing that I haven't been able to find is doing the garages, which is probably still at work, so it's probably why. Let's go to the system, see what they've changed in here. Raid and battlegrounds, they've changed it to where you can have a setting for just questing and doing whatever you need. Then when you go into raid and battlegrounds, of course, everything gets a lot more laggy and your frames start to jitter around because there's so much going on. So you can actually set a setting to adjust your settings down so you don't get that lagginess in your frames per second, or your too much data coming through or whatever, which is pretty cool. That's for for big raiders and everything. Advanced, still the same. Network, nothing. So it looks like everything else is pretty much the same. Let's go to interface. We've got a lot of changes here. First thing on the controls is you can reverse cleanup bags and loot the leftmost bag. So the reverse cleanup bag is, if checked, cleanup bags will move items to the rightmost bags. If you do the loot to leftmost bag, if checked, new items will appear in the leftmost bag. So it's kind of like a auto system for putting everything on one side so you can adjust it yourself later. As far as the display, they have added the mouse over. The little thing where I was showing you where if you hover over an NPC it turns green if it's friendly and red if it's hostile. You can have it to where it does it only on mouse over and do it on mouse over and target. So like the guy there, the friendly, then if I click it, it stays with the thing on there. So that's pretty cool. Objectives, they've added newly tracked quests sorted by proximity or top. So that's kind of a neat feature to add to your quest, so you can set it off by which one's closer to you, or set it off by the top. Action bars show numbers for cooldowns, so you can start showing the timer for when something's on a cooldown. If it's got 5 seconds, you'll put a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's pretty neat. Names, let's see, hide minor NPC names, which is hide the names of smaller, weaker creatures. That's pretty neat little feature there. Floating combat text, for pet battles, so you can enable that now. It pretty much looks like everything else I see is about the same as it's always been. But like I said, a lot of things could change since this is still beta. Now the key bindings have changed quite a bit. Now the key bindings on this left hand side, they have it separated out. So if you want to check your key bindings for just chat, it shows just chat commands, movement keys, targeting, camera, iTunes remote, which if you don't use an iMac you won't have that, or the movie recorder. That's something that iMacs have exclusively for the World of Warcraft. So vehicle control, and you can change it and stuff. That's pretty neat little feature there. Macros looks pretty much the same. Log out, return to. So that's pretty much everything there. Let's go check the guild bank and things like that and see if any of these have changed. Well, I was going to show you. Oh, I'm not in the guild.
GTL, friend. Gambling, tinkering, laundry.
So you have your regular bank that you have with all your bags. Then you have a Regent's bag. Gives you additional storage for professional. So you have your regular bank bag for whatever you put in there, and then you also have your Regents bag for like mats and things like that, so you don't have to worry about taking up your bag space for other items, which is pretty cool to have. Just gives you a little bit more bag space. Next thing, I'm going to go over here and check the auction house and see if any of this has been changed.
I know I'll buy it when I see
So the
one.
auction house pretty much looks the same as far as on the outside of it. You can, well, they've added a price per unit and price per stack now. Still have the same amount of time. So there's not much changed with the auction house. They did add a reset where you can reset everything back and start, you know, reselect. So that's pretty neat. All this is pretty much the same. They've done no changes to the mailbox. So there's a few changes they've made. Not much that I can see of other than just a few extra features that they added into the interface option. But like we said, we still got until, you know, November before it actually comes out, so a lot of things could be changed. Calendar, forgot about it, still stays the same. So yeah, that's just a few of the items that I had noticed and I wanted to show you guys for the beta. I will do another video probably to highlight some of the bosses, doing the dungeon journal and going through and looking at each one of the bosses and seeing what they look like, and just kind of get an idea of that. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, I will put a subscribe button on the screen. Please subscribe, like the video, and tell your friends, and I'll see you next time.